Hi guys, I'm MD2,
I'm MD3.
and today we're going to talk to you about how we stay calm in stressful situations. I actually polled a couple of medics and some of my other ER friends to see some of their methods, and hopefully it helps out some other people like it helped out me. I learned a couple things too.
Yeah, it's all, I mean, most of what we do in emergency medicine and even throughout the training of residency, we need all of our simulation. It's really to give us that stress inoculation. And so, honestly, you can be as freaked out as you want on the inside, but it is very important to keep calm on the outside because that calmness on the outside keeps everybody else calm, but it really will also allow you to think better too.
Agreed. Rule number 3 in the book, The House of God, is the first procedure in a cardiac arrest is to check your own pulse.
100%.
And just from that was like the biggest thing that helped me is you can take that half a second or take that second before you go in and start doing stuff to kind of reset or reorient. They had an episode in Scrubs about it too, and that was like another big. It's the same thing. It's a big takeaway. You take a deep breath, and then you can start doing what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes just tapping the brakes before you go is the best way for me.
Yep.
To stay calm.
100%. I definitely do that, and I do this purposefully with 2 hand movements. So one is either if somebody is either coming in acute distress or I'm coming upon a scene that is very stressful, is I will first assess fully what's going on. And I do that by putting my hands in my pocket, or I will cross my hands like this because it gives my body a sense of I'm not in action mode. I'm in, understanding what's going on and thinking through my algorithms initially. So even if I can do that for 3 to 5 seconds initially, it gives me, okay, these are the couple paths I need to choose. What's the next best thing I want to do? Boom. And then I take it. So it's kind of like my body's own body language of stay calm, think about it, and then execute your next decision. And so that's how I do that.
100%. A couple of the medics I spoke to had said one of them hums a little tune in her head before she goes just to kind of reset. And then I think that I talked to one of the ER docs, everyone's favorite, Dr. Foland, and he, at the beginning of every shift, he's like, I think about one thing that could go terribly wrong, and I run through what I would do in my head. So he runs through, once a week, he's running through the procedure for a crike. Or the next day he's thinking about how he would do a thoracotomy. The next day he's thinking about pericardiocentesis, and he's like, I run through these procedures in my head so I get basically virtual practice. Mm-hmm. And he's like, that way when it's time to really deliver, I'm going off of muscle memory and I'm not going off of trying to just, we're always, there's a component of winging it to a lot of what we do, but he, at least that time when he comes to those things, when he's winging it, it's practiced.
Yeah, and I think it's that prepare for the worst, hope for the best kind of thing. 100%. And so I agree. You always got to think of the rough thing that's going on. We're kind of trained to do that in, EMS, emergency medicine. But that kind of constant thought process of, hey, bad things are going to happen. And at least if you've thought about it, then you can execute when those things are happening. The other thing that I find myself, if I'm finding my brain either moving very, very fast to where it's not really quite going down an algorithm that I think we're going somewhere, or if I feel a little lost, or if something feels different, again, I will take those couple seconds and think, okay, what is the next most important thing I have to do? And as long as I make that next decision, it allows me to then calm down then for a little bit. So if I find myself kind of spinning my wheels, I just go, what is the one thing I have to do next? Make that decision, and then pieces seem to fall in line. So I think that allows me to, keep moving forward in a direction, even if it's one step by one step by one step.
Yeah. So let's say you get out of that phase of the acute cardiac arrest, right? You're kind of just, you've got your lines established, the patient's intubated, you're running through your algorithms. Do you still feel the same stress running through you? You still have that adrenaline?
I definitely still have some adrenaline, but I would say it's definitely not as high. And I'm sure that is part of the body language I'm mm-hmm. passing along to. I do feel a lot more relaxed. So I would say it definitely is something that the numbers are down, mm-hmm. but they're still at an anxiety level high.
When I fall into that anxiety level, I tend to make dark jokes.
That is fair. But I think that's a lot of us.
And the secret that I've learned is making sure that when you have that kind of humor, it's okay. Humor is a mature ego defense. You just got to know when to use it
and who's around.
Read the room and who's around. You never want to make a dark joke, and again, you never want to be seriously jaded about it. But sometimes we do that, and I think that there are instances where lightening that mood around it has helped everyone feel a little calm, because you're part of your role, and we're on scene with a lot of arrests, but truly you guys run more arrests without us than with us. But everyone there is looking to the medics as kind of your leader when you're running a code out in the field. So they're looking to the medics to be calm, right? Or even if you're a basic unit and you're the first ones on scene, or even if you're rescue, everyone around you, all the civilians around you are looking to you to remain calm. So that's not to say you want to crack jokes with dark humor with civilians, but they're kind of looking to you to guide the ship.
Yeah, and I think, your communication style also, again, will calm not only everyone else around you, but as soon as everyone else is calm around you, that then calms yourself, and even the way you can deliver your voice, right? Slow it down. Speak deliberately. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times I will verbalize everything that's going on in my head so that, so everyone knows, we're using that open form of communication, but also just the way I speak, slow and steady, will have that same sort of effect on others, and then hopefully myself. So those are kind of my tips for keeping myself in check, but then keeping everyone else in check, which in turn also helps me stay in check.
For sure. And then finally, so we kind of talked about that first initial phase, right? You walk into the disaster scene, what you do, you check your own pulse, catch your breath, figure out your body language. We've talked about in the middle of the arrest, and then I personally think there's still a significant portion of stress after some of those really traumatic arrests.
100%.
So how do you deal with the stress afterwards?
I'm a big debrief guy. Several of you have run cardiac arrest with me. I did cardiac arrest research for a long time beforehand, and the importance of the debrief afterwards, one is to identify things that you can improve so that you can think of it the next time, but also just allows everybody that tension of release. Hey, what did we just go through, and we can talk about it and be a little bit more open about what we just experienced, and so you don't have those thoughts kind of lingering, because that's what really is troublesome moving forward. And then if you really are close with other colleagues, everybody's there to lend a helping ear, right? And I think it's super, super important to just even let any of that information out so that you're not just keeping it inside.
Agreed. I'm the same way. I like the very quick. I like the debrief right after it happens. So 100%. I think that a lot of the calls that I've been on, and several of the medics I've messaged them afterwards and been like, how do you think it went? And sometimes it's not even so much because I feel like things went wrong, but you can do everything right, and sometimes we can still find things we can do better for next time, things that we want to change or alter or tweak. And I think that hot wash initially after is the best time to remember that while you're fresh in the moment. But I'm also a big fan of the beer at the bar debrief, or
if you need
chatting
to,
with
for
friends.
sure.
And I think that's the way that I get all the technical stuff out of my head with a quick debrief, and I get all of the feelings out at the bar.
I think it's just important that all of us, especially in the medical field, and especially in EM and EMS, we're all there for each other. And so we can definitely lend an ear and just always be there for somebody, but know that everyone else there's there for you as well. Yeah,
and us included. Even if we're not around in the fellowship, if you guys ever want to come and have a chat about a crazy arrest, doors are always open. And I'd say use the resources you have available. I've talked to many medics about my arrests. I've talked to my fellow, previous residents.
And not even just arrests, anything that's rough going on, for sure.
100%. So those are all the ways that we kind of have gathered to talk about stressful situations and how we deal with them. If you have any, I'd love to see it in the comments, because I'm going to be following this video in particular to see if there's anything else that I can add in for my practice even.
Yeah, definitely. We appreciate everything you guys do. And if you guys ever want to talk to us, just reach out.
100%. Till next time.
Thanks.